So when I think of risk management and nonprofit organizations, I'm thinking about a discipline that helps leadership teams deal with uncertainty. And uncertainty is something that all organizations face, and they need tools and ways to think about what will we do if something happens that we didn't expect. So kind of at its essence, risk management is about just dealing with inevitable uncertainty. I talked about a number of risks facing nonprofits at the morning session today, but one that seemed to really resonate with the group was the risk of not having adequate succession plans in place. And it's all about someone leaving an organization without giving a lot of notice, maybe on an emergency basis, or even with some period of notice. Many organizations find themselves kind of paralyzed. The organization is paralyzed, or they face a little bit of chaos when somebody leaves. Yet having a good succession plan in place can really relieve that anxiety that is associated when somebody leaves an organization, and can help an organization prepare for those inevitable transitions. So a couple things we talked about this morning on this topic. One was that ultimately it's the board's responsibility for adopting a CEO succession plan, because their responsibility is to supervise that CEO, and they will pick the next CEO after he or she leaves the organization. So it's the board's responsibility. It's a really important responsibility. And the second is that an adequate succession plan or an appropriate succession plan doesn't necessarily name a successor. It simply talks about the steps that the board will take should they learn that a CEO is planning to leave, or should they learn that a CEO has left already. Something kind of I find interesting is that for many years, many CEOs and boards thought that risk management was solely a staff responsibility. It's something our staff do. We look to our staff to really practice good risk management. But in recent years, there's been an evolution and understanding about the fact that the board, as the entity that's ultimately responsible for the health and the welfare of a nonprofit, is also responsible for risk oversight. So risk oversight is asking great questions about the risks that the organization is taking. Are we taking enough risks, for example? And also, what is the organization doing to really understand and manage its risks? So I love to work with boards and really engage them in conversations about risk. And I encourage staff teams to make sure that when you're presenting risk information to your board, you're not doing it in kind of a one-way, providing assurance about things, but you're actually engaging them in conversation and getting their input and their ideas about what the risk landscape looks like.